Hello and welcome to another edition, maybe the April Fool's edition of What's Next with Joey McGuire and Robert Giovannetti alongside the head coach. So we are shooting around April Fool's. Is that a big day at the McGuire household?
It's a huge day for Debbie McGuire.
I feel like she's pretty tricky even like on regular days.
Well, this is her favorite day. Like this is like as my kids call it, it's her Super Bowl. Like
she prepares all year for this day.
She really does, and she has something every single year. For example, I mean, like she'll play jokes on you, but then she'll also fill your car full of balloons and those little rubber balls. Like whenever you go diving in the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. And so that's what I woke up to this morning.
You did wake up to this.
I woke up to this, and I knew it was April Fool's, and I was expecting I've walked through a doorway with, like the plastic on your face.
Oh my gosh.
I've opened up the shower and there's a skeleton hanging in the shower. Opened up the door and the horn went off when I opened up the door. So there's a lot of like stuff. And so I thought that, I'm walking through the house this morning, literally like doing this, like making sure I'm
So
not
when you wake
anything.
up, are you going, hey, today's April Fool's?
Normally not, but for some reason today I knew, like I looked at my phone, oh, it's April Fool's. She's going to try to get me.
Well, you can't do it every year as a joke.
Yeah.
You've got to do pranks, right? If
Yeah.
you're going to pull it off, right?
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't tell you, hey, Joey, moving to Aruba.
Right.
Because you would know it's April Fool's.
And she's done all that stuff too. She gets me every year. Yeah, there was one year she actually, we were living in a townhome in Waco, and she moved the car, so I thought it was stolen.
Oh my gosh.
And so I go out there, it's really early. I mean, it's, and we had something really early that morning, and I'm like clicking my deal trying to figure out, because she had parked in the garage and couldn't find my car, so I thought somebody stole it,
Have you ever done one to her?
No.
Yeah. It's kind of like amateur hour with you, probably.
Yeah, I can't even go to the level.
She'd be
that
like,
she's
come
going
on,
at.
man.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, who knew that? I mean, again, we know she's pretty clever.
Yeah.
This is her Super Bowl.
Oh, she loves it. The kids.
Are the kids in the line of fire
both
too?
of them. Well, they are.
Yeah.
They are. The coaches were today, but now she's mad at Garrett because he was supposed to bring Krispy Kreme donuts for the coaches, but whenever you opened it up, it was all veggies and everything. It said April Fool's, and he forgot it. So she was mad at him. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst if you think, hey, I'm going to get a Eclair. It has
and then there's carrots.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Hey, a big weekend too. Sandy Collins, one of our favorite Texas Tech employees. Sandy's been here 25 plus years. Former tennis coach. Sandy was the 17th ranked player in the world at one time.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
she's an athlete now.
She got married, and you officiated the wedding. And I've heard that before. So that's the third one you've ever done?
Yeah, number
so what
3.
What got you to there?
Sam Tecklenburg's incredible wife. So Sam Tecklenburg played. I was his position coach at Baylor, and he and his wife were getting married, and she called me, and she goes, Sam doesn't know I'm asking you this yet, but we would really like for you to do our wedding. And I started laughing, and I was like, that you've been around me, right? Like, sometimes I have colorful language, and she goes, Coach, this would be a big deal. And again, everybody probably knows, but one of my mentors is Sam Harrell. Mm-hmm. And I actually was in a wedding that Sam did for one of his former players, and I thought it was one of the coolest things the way he did it. And so I called Sam and asked him, what do I need to do to go through the process? And he, gave me everything and sent me some different, different sermons. And then I called the pastor with the church that we were going to, and he sent me some. And then Judd Hartage, who is a Red Raider.
Judd.
Judd's a legend. He does weddings also. So I collected them and kind of put stuff together. And so I did Sam Tecklenburg's, and then I did James Lockhart, who I also coached. Did him a couple years ago. And I was supposed to do Tyler Shuck, and he ended up transferring. We were right in the middle of spring football whenever he was doing that, so I didn't get a chance to do that one. But did Sandy's, and I'm fixing to do my daughter's best friends in May. They grew up together.
That's awesome.
So it's fun. I try to make people laugh during, but there's some serious points too. And,
yeah, you got to get.
Yeah,
it's not. The ultimate maybe if you did a wedding on April 1st.
Yeah, that would
right. Make sure Debbie's not involved.
Debbie's not involved. It was at 5:00. So I had 9 minutes.
I heard that. Yeah, tip at 5:09, and the wedding was at 5.
I think it took me 19 minutes. Matt Dowdy actually wanted to cut it down. I said, "Look, man, this is their day, all right. So we've got to get to." But we were able to watch the game also.
Our senior women administrator, Dee Dee Brown Campbell, was telling me today that you said, "Hey, folks, settle down.
Yeah,
we know there's a basketball game happening, but we got to, we're going to do this first."
That's how we started the wedding. I mean, it was Red Raiders. I mean, it was everyone. It was over in the West Side.
Yeah.
At club level, and I knew that everybody was excited to watch the game, so I was going to get it done.
Have you ever dropped a Dearly Beloved? Dearly Beloved, we're gathered here together.
No, that's not usually how I've started, but I have some different ways to start.
All right. So, hey, speaking of that game, I just saw Coach McCaslin. He's doing about how you'd expect after a tough loss. And how do you handle that as a coach, right? You got that locker room. I heard him say, man, I didn't want to leave that locker room.
Yeah, it honestly is one of the hardest things to do. I've had different moments. I go back to first one's 2009, one of my worst losses. We were playing Abilene. Both of them were undefeated. They actually made a movie off of that. And they made it like they were the big underdog. It's I think it's called Under the Lights.
Okay.
And it was good. I mean, it's legit. I did not watch it because I did not want to relive that moment again. But it was more like talking about the team that Abilene had, and that just happened to be one of the big parts of the movie. It's tough, man. Like whenever I say like a depressed, really low state, it's really tough to be a part of. And then you try to, whenever you're coming out of it, you got to understand you got to turn the page. So you're trying to think about the good moments that you had. And man, they did some incredible things this year, absolutely incredible things this year.
Yeah, I think no one wants to hear that, but when you go, hey, Elite Eight, only the third time in our history we've been to Elite Eight.
Right.
Grant's second year. I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff.
And it doesn't surprise me, whenever he does win it all, that's going to be one on my resume.
Yeah, you
I was on the interview committee. So, I love the guy, and I love the way he coaches. I love the passion that he coaches with. I love how much he loves his players. That's whenever it's even harder. Whenever you love your team so much like he does, that the losses are even harder. But man, what an incredible run, and you're right there. And then the other thing that's really tough, like sometimes those moments when on those last few minutes. I mean, I'd already called Debbie and said, look, I can't go to Saturday because we've got a coaching clinic, so you got to go represent us. And she was like, duh, I already know I'm going to San Antonio. She's already got it set. So it was tough, but I'm really proud of the guys and proud of what he and his staff have done.
Yeah, he's a stone cold killer on the sideline, right? After watching him after the Arkansas game and all that, he's just love his demeanor on the sideline and what he does and the way he represents Texas Tech. It's been great. And, good times ahead. We on that day, speaking of good times, you guys have this great portal class. You've got a great returning group. You've got a bunch of newcomers that should be in high school that you've got here early, and you have your first scrimmage on Saturday. How did that go? What were your thoughts from that?
It went well. It was back and forth. I mean, so on the good side, Caleb Douglas had 2 big touchdowns. And that was great to see. Both, Will Hammond hit him on a screen for a touchdown, and then he hit him on a deep ball. I thought T.C. Carter had a big catch that set up a field goal. And then our running backs, all 3, really all 4. Adam Hill had a good day too, but the guys that we're going to count on for the majority of carries, I mean, they all had, big runs. Jacoby Williams and Quentin Joyner had 2 big touchdown runs. Quentin Joyner ended the scrimmage in our red zone lockout, which is a point system, with a big touchdown. And, I thought the O-line did a great job. And then on the other side of the ball, man, Cole, our new safety from transfer, is an eraser. I mean, TC had a big catch, and it looks like he's going to score, and Cole gets the ball down. We have to kick a field goal. Quentin Joyner had a big run. He hit like 21.57 on the GPS miles per hour, and Cole hit like 21.32. Got him down. We caused a fumble on that drive, And so that was really, really good to see. I thought we tackled well. And then when you're going against each other, there's one side that you like this, and the other side you've got to have better ball security. But the defense did cause 4 turnovers. So like Peyton Morgan had an interception. Jacob Rodriguez does what Jacob Rodriguez does and punches the ball out. On the play that did where Cole got Quentin down, Jacob, like 2 plays later, knocks the ball out. So that was really good. And then on special teams, our new kicker Upton kicked a 50-yarder and a 53-yarder. Both of those kicks were in pressure situations from the standpoint they were in red zone lockout, and so they were 4 like points to win that part of practice. And so some really good things, and then a lot of things that we got to work on. I thought we've got to be better in certain situations to protect the quarterback. But it was good to see a guy like Lee Hunter, a guy like Skyler and Romello get to the quarterback. I mean, there was pressure on the quarterback. So good on both sides, and then a lot to work on.
Yeah, we mentioned Lee Hunter on this program a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's huge.
Oh,
and seeing him in action, is that kind of what you were expecting?
So on the same run that Q hit 21 and Cole hit 21, he hit 16, I think it was like 16.5 at 320 pounds.
I can't imagine a guy like that moving.
I mean, just running.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see. Man, he's a guy that can really dominate. You're going to have to double team him, which means if you're going to double team him, then you're going to have to single block somebody like A.J. Holmes or Skyler or Romello or Charles Esters. And if you don't double team him, then he's going to live in the backfield.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
It is,
yeah.
No doubt.
So overall, when you're walking off the field, do you feel pretty positive? Do you feel like, hey, man, we still got a lot to do? Obviously, it's just first scrimmage, and you got a few more weeks to go.
Yeah, whenever you walk on the field in spring right now, you're just hoping we don't get banged up.
Yeah, that's
Caleb Douglas got a little banged up, and we'll see what we're going to do with him. I mean, he's played a lot of football, but I was happy. I thought, we're talking about a lot of vets, so with some young guys. Nick Fattig had a great scrimmage at left guard. Dylan Shaw had a great scrimmage. He was also playing left guard. He really showed up. Cofield, he's playing behind Lee at that defensive tackle. I thought he had a really good scrimmage. So you walk away and you want the offense won the red zone part of it, so the defense had to run. And I run with both groups because I'm not going to pick a side. The coaches have to run, so the defensive coaches had to run. The offense had to run the other day when we had our competition, and the offensive coaches had to run. So, it's been good. You walk away knowing there's a lot to do, a lot of things to work on, and come out healthy. Those are the two things that you want the most.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That just being healthy coming out is such a big win. When you look at something like that, so much has been talked about these portal guys, right?
Right.
Is there a certain amount, and I know you guys don't, as a staff, are really good about it, but outside influences, do the returners go, hey, man, don't forget about us. Does it give them a little added incentive that they want to show still what they can do?
Well, I think the one thing, the way we do things is so it's easier to explain on the defense side of the ball. Is we play so many guys on defense, especially up front. You can't play a 320-pound defensive tackle 80 plays, and so there's so many plays on the defensive side of the ball, and you're trying to create depth. So I think they understand that, but I also think they understand that we're going to play the best guys. I think we've proven that. There was a lot of talk about a lot of things last year, and we proved that we're going to put the best player on the field. And so our guys trust that. In the offense side of the ball, you're going to play multiple receivers. You're going to play multiple tight ends. We're going to play multiple running backs. But one of the biggest things that we have to do that has been, really this team's kind of Achilles heel is the offensive line. And so not just creating the guys that are going to start, but we got to create depth. And that's one thing. We're moving guys around. There's some guys that stay exactly where they are, like, Howard Sampson is going to play left tackle. But, Will Jadis played left guard, and right tackle in the scrimmage. We're trying to find the best 5. we're playing. We feel like we have two centers that can start, and so who's going to be that starter with Sheridan? Sheridan played primarily center this week, and Davion Carter played right guard, but we'll switch it going into the next scrimmage or the next live action. And so just got to, create that depth, and those guys understand it.
Sheil and Mac, how have they been fitting in as you're out there at a scrimmage? It's new, right? New for you. So what's that been like?
Yeah, it's they're so competitive, and it's I had the headset on whenever we competed the other day. I had the headset on Saturday because I want to hear those guys and how they're talking through the headsets and where I can add in. Both of them are extremely competitive, and it's fun because it's fun to see the personality of the in competition come out, because both of them are pretty even keel until you step between the lines, and they both have an edge, different, but they both really have an edge. And so, it was good to see on how that was going to go, and just different things that we've got to work on operation wise. That's another thing. You're thinking about, you're putting a new offense, new defense. So there's new terminology, but you also have new signals. You have a new signal caller, the communication between coaches. So there's a lot to work on right now.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully our fans come out late April to watch that in red and black. We'll talk more about that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, April 19th. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
You mentioned the coaches clinic. What's the goal from that, and how does that have there been impactful moments for you in that kind of a setting?
Well, I think one thing that we really try to do, but we opened it up spring practice, like we had Sulphur Springs entire offensive staff was here last week, and they spent 2 practices and an off day with us. So we really opened it up to Texas high school coaches. I've been to some great places. I've been to some places like I'm never going back. You go to some places and they stick you in a room and here's the video, and then you go to some places that open everything up and they can be in every meeting. That's us. We open everything up. We want them to be a part of the team meetings. We want them to be a part of, I've had some times where guys have been in the staff meetings whenever I was going through everything that, they wanted, some head coaches kind of wanted to see different things. And so, that's really big with this new building. We want these coaches to see this new building,
sure.
So they can go back and when they're talking about some of their guys that had some of their players that haven't been out here, they're going to be able to say, man, you got to go out there and see what's going on. And then I'm not going to lie, man, this clinic is just as much for us. Like we're bringing in James Campen. He's one of the best offensive line coaches to ever coach at any level. His players, I think he might be, if he's not number 1, he's number 2 of players' contracts that he's been able to get his NFL guys because of their success. And so he's coming in on Wednesday, and he's going to be meeting with the offensive staff and the defensive staff. He was at Green Bay. Green Bay was the first team to really use the walkthrough room, so he's going to give us a clinic on how.
So he's the guy that told you about the walkthrough.
Oh yeah, man! Like this. I mean, I'm just excited. I'm fired up for this clinic to be a coach at the clinic, listening to this guy. And so I'm really excited about that.
It is great to have him. I should have mentioned this earlier. We're in the team room today because of some things going on in your office where we normally shoot, but we're getting a lot of great publicity about this building.
We are, and much deserved.
Yeah.
I mean, our alumni and the people that gave to this building, it's incredible, and it's great to see how much publicity we're getting because it is the best in the country. I had Alex Hammond, who represents me, was out the last 2 days, and he's been all over the country, and he's said what we've said, like there's nobody that has anything like this. There's people that have different things, and they might have a slide or they might have a lazy river, although we have a lazy river at the rec.
I say, just a little close.
And stuff like that, but just the functionality. And then the one thing he said, he had not seen a building that was built so much for the student athlete as this building right here.
It is crazy. When I walk through it, I just said, man, we just can never take this for granted. It's so nice over here.
And I don't think we do, man. I think that's what's really cool is these players are taking a lot of pride. You could tell that by whenever you walk into the locker room or you walk around. Sometimes you're the bad cop to where you got to police different areas and you know, other than reminding them, hey, this is what we do, man, they really have taken a lot of pride in this place.
Hey, I forgot to ask you, who played you in the movie?
There's a local actor. He came out and hung out with me for a day. There's some stuff said in my little cameo part, or I wasn't in it, that I did not say.
I'm gonna go watch that.
Steve Warren, who is the head coach at Abilene, is a really good friend of mine, and I reminded him, we both saw this one scene, and I said, I did not say I was going to kick your ass. That was not something that I said.
That was a line in the movie?
That was a line in the movie. And so
you kind of looked like the bad guy a little bit.
I did, man. And I didn't think it was right, but that was what they wanted. You know, we were number one in the state. We were undefeated. Yeah. They forget. I don't think they said Abilene was also undefeated and like number 5 in the state. You
were like the Dallas Carter to Odessa Permian and Friday Night Lights.
That's exactly kind of what it was different, but in that moment, it was really a lot like that.
You got to have the antagonist if you're going to have Who would play you if you had to pick an actor? Who do you got?
My daughter always says Tim McGraw.
Huh? Okay.
You know, I think he'd be the guy.
He'd be good.
I would say McConaughey, but he's a Longhorn, so I'm out. I love him because he's from East Texas.
Yeah,
you know, I'm from East Texas, a Longview guy, but, you know, now I'm out on that, man. We can't have that guy play.
I heard an MC once say you had Santa Claus eyes, so I don't know if I'm trying to think who would be a good Santa Claus actor, like Tim Allen or somebody.
Yeah, Tim Allen. Well, Tim Allen would be good. Yeah.
So,
you know, he's got a little bit more hair than me. I think McGraw's the one because he and I have got about the same hairline.
That's a good one. All right, well, keep your head down the rest of it. I don't know, does Debbie ever double dip on?
No, she does, and I've already called her out. And I actually started our staff meeting today by, man, my wife's a dork, and this is what she did.
All right, we're good. Glad you're safe for the rest of the day. That's it for What's Next. We'll see you again next time here at Wreck 'em.